Running a football club isn't easy, especially in the Premier League. You have to overcome relegation battles, consistently perform week in, week out, and have a common goal to achieve success from the backroom staff all the way up to the manager and his players. So, understandable that teams fail at achieving this and fall to the bottom of the pile, right? Wrong. When you have a club of such big stature in the game, there are certain things you can't afford to get wrong. And when these issues have been ongoing for years and years without being fixed, you have a real problem on your hands. There are many teams over the years who have made it to the pinnacle of football and gone back down again, but no teams more pertinent than the rapidly declining Manchester United. Welcome to today's episode, Manchester United, How Not to Run a Football Club. Between the period of 1986 to 2013, Manchester United had its rails handed over to Sir Alex Ferguson, a move that would change the course of English football forever. Alex Ferguson was no regular manager. He brought in a set of values and ideals that would shape the fabric of the club to make them the team that they became. But it wasn't just his tactical play, it was his man-to-man management that had Alex Ferguson held so highly in the footballing world. In an interview on the Happy Hour podcast, Ben Foster stated the following when out on loan from Manchester United.
Ferguson saying that you were late for a match day. I was like, oh my God.
What a little grass.
I know, double grass. But do you know what?
Snitch.
Listen to me, right? Listen, I swear on my life it was the best thing he ever did, right? Because he wrote a letter back to Sir Alex Ferguson and there was an international break about 2 weeks later. Went back, because every international break, because I was only on loan, Man United would have me back there to do some training with the first team and the goalie coach and just see everybody and know my surroundings up at Man United. First day, got back in. Sir Alex Ferguson was waiting for me.
Double whammy, double whammy.
Come in my office, son. Oh my God, he absolutely mullered me. Don't you dare be late. You are representing Man United. You need to set the example. You need to set the standard. You're the guy that everybody looks to.
This shows just how much grit Alex Ferguson had with the players, even with Ben Foster not playing for United at the time. Simply by representing them as a lone player, there are certain standards that are expected to be met. Backroom staff also had an impact, showing how much of a role everyone in the club had to play. United became an unbeatable side, through Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney and Rio Ferdinand, Scholes and Roy Keane, the list goes on. The players brought into United were the best in the world and were happy to play for what was then regarded as the best club in the world.
Tapestry of the history of this club has won 5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 10 Charity Community Shields, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup.
At the end of the 2012-13 season, Sir Alex Ferguson resigned after 30 years at the club.
Your job now is to stand by our new manager.
But this statement could not be understated, as from that moment on, United's rapid decline was underway. The club announced David Moyes as their new manager, but quickly the identity of the club started to fade away along with the opposition. United ended 7th in the league that season, scoring 64 goals against the opposition. The following season, they ended 4th, following on to 5th the season after. But it wasn't just the goals they scored or the position in the league that had an effect on United. Manchester United sacked and signed new managers on a consistent basis as they struggled to find that United spark again. Over the years, signing former player Ryan Giggs, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick, and finally, Erik ten Hag. Out of the 7 managers that have come and gone since Alex Ferguson's departure, you have to ask yourself, what is their reasoning behind signing Giggs and Solskjaer, 2 former players? My personal opinion is that they desperately wanted some of that old school Manchester United back to remind the players who they once were as a team. The impact an owner has on a football club is sometimes understated. They are the reason the club is able to run. Through financial investment, strategic decision making, hiring and firing, negotiating, transfers, fan relations and long-term planning, to name a few. So let's talk about the Glazers. The Glazer family acquired Manchester United in 2005. The Glazer family purchased the majority of Manchester United shares, gaining almost complete control of the club. Over the years, however, the Glazers have been the brunt of criticism. Fans want them out and strongly believe that their overseeing of the club is non-existent. Fans have been pushing them out of the club for a long time, and you can see why. The Glazers, in my opinion, simply see the club as a cash cow, placing only money they can afford to lose into the club, and rather than injecting the money they receive back into the club, they simply pocket it for themselves and run away. Unfortunately, in modern football today, this is a typical occurrence in the game, as you don't have to have any interest or knowledge in football. So long as you have the money, you can theoretically buy the club. But with that comes responsibility. You're not just buying a football club, you're supporting the fans, being a contributing member of that community and doing your part to ensure the fans of the club you invested in stay happy. Something that the Glazers have failed to do. Over the years, Manchester United have brought in players who I'm sure many of you would agree are not exactly A-star standard. Recently, Andre Onana struggling with form, and of course, Harry Maguire, a player whose reputation has been tarnished upon signing for Manchester United. Let's not forget that Manchester United used to be a club that the best players in the world were aiming for. Jadon Sancho, a former United Academy player who went to Dortmund, was brought back to the club as he was showing significant potential as a complete right midfielder. However, since joining United, his form has dipped and his career is in jeopardy. Players are now going to Manchester United, essentially ending their career, which is very sad to think, but if you look at the stats, it is the truth. There seems to be an energy at the club that makes players underperform and be inconsistent when playing. The togetherness at the club, it's not even there. Manchester United's downfall is a byproduct of poor recruitment, an uninterested owner, and players who have by no fault of their own forgotten what it means to play for the club. Ultimately, United's success depends upon the players' performance when the whistle blows for kickoff. However, we can't understate the impact of those running the club from the top to give the players the spark they need to pick up on form. So will United ever get back to the level they once were at? Or is their time in the limelight come and gone? Only time will tell.